Hey everyone, welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage on this Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. Tomorrow is Halloween, and we're going to be getting into the Halloween forecast in this video, but we're also looking at more record high temperatures, severe weather, snowfall, and tropical weather as well. So we're going to be diving into everything that you need to know in this forecast. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not already, like the video, and leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll certainly get to those after the video. Look how warm of a start we had this morning, all the way up into the Midwest, like Wisconsin, folks. The Badger State up here, we're starting off in the upper 60s, even some areas in the low 70s this morning. That is absurd for late October standards. And as we go into this afternoon, those record high temperatures are likely to be shattered across the Great Lakes, as some of these areas into Wisconsin and Illinois and Michigan, even up into southeastern Canada, into southern Ontario and Quebec, could be 29, 30 degrees above the average for this time of year. And then you take that out west, we're a lot cooler than normal, with temperatures up to 45 degrees below average for this time of year. So looking at the contrast here, to the east it's warm, to the west it's cool, and the battleground is going to be setting up here in the middle of the country for severe weather. But before we get to talking about severe weather prospects, look at all of these areas. See the boxed out squares here? That's where record high temperatures are likely to be shattered this afternoon. And look how abundant they are up across Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, over here into West Virginia, into New York State, even a couple down here into the deep south like Texas, Mississippi and Tennessee, seeing those as well. And then you look out west, it's pretty chilly out there. That's with our trough that's going to be ejecting into the middle of the country. And as it ejects into the middle of the country, a severe weather outbreak, at least a localized severe weather outbreak, is in play today. Storm Prediction Center highlighting an orange area from northwestern Missouri into eastern Kansas, northeast Oklahoma. That is a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe weather. It's an enhanced risk we haven't seen for quite some time, but the severe weather could extend all the way up into central Wisconsin or as far south as central Texas as we go through today. Let's break down some of the hazards these storms could bring. 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts, especially in the yellow and red shaded color. This includes Kansas City and Wichita, all the way down into Oklahoma City and Tulsa as we go through today. And we could be seeing a few tornadoes. One or two of those could be strong, but the tornado threat extends again from central Wisconsin all the way south into north central Texas today. Anywhere in the green, the brown, or the yellow, you do have at least a chance for some tornadoes, and kind of highlighting the areas that have the greatest chance for tornadoes and also the greatest chance for strong tornadoes. Those are the tornadoes that are EF2 strength or larger here in intensity. Topeka down into the Manhattan, Kansas region, Emporia all the way down here into Wichita, even extending down here into the northern side of the Oklahoma City metro into Oklahoma. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on you folks, and we could be seeing some hailstones over 2 inches in diameter as those supercell thunderstorms first develop here into southern Kansas and north central Oklahoma later on today. So let's break down what the radar could look like here this afternoon. Kind of seeing some scattered showers and storms from the Hawkeye State of Iowa back down into eastern Nebraska, northern portions of Kansas. One or two of these could be severe, mainly elevated, so we're probably looking at more of a hail risk than anything else. They will surface route as we go into this evening, and that means some storms will start to produce those gust fronts with the damaging winds, 60, 70 miles an hour along the leading edge of the squall line, and some embedded tornadoes, some spin and rotation on the leading edge of some of these as well, especially the further south you go into Kansas and into Oklahoma. And then that squall line will cross through Missouri into portions of Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, North Texas as well as we go into early on Thursday morning. And kind of looking at the rainfall amounts we're seeing with that squall line, we could be talking about 1 to 3 inches worth of rain in a very short amount of time here. And even though we have dry ground, a lot of that could run off, so flash flooding may be in play in isolated instances over the next 12 to 24 hours in the middle of the country. Snowfall prospects, they're staying mostly up here in western Canada, but some heavier snows again in southeastern Alaska, some lighter snowfall from Wyoming down into Colorado, 1 to 3 inch variety as we go through Thursday. Going through the rest of the work week, going through Friday, November the 1st, the warmer air is going to push further off into the eastern seaboard. We're going to set back into reality into the middle of the country as we go into starting off tomorrow. You can see areas areas that are in the 70s, 80s today will be back in the 50s and 60s tomorrow, and even cooler yet into the 50s on Friday. So any of those Friday night football games that you're attending further north, you're probably going to be needing the jacket as we go through your Friday time frame, but still hanging on to the 80s further south toward the Gulf Coast. And looking at the severe weather, it doesn't end today. The greatest chance for severe weather certainly is today, but we're still looking at that marginal risk. That's a level 1 out of 5 in the dark green, extending from southern lower Michigan all the way down here into East Texas and Louisiana tomorrow. So watch out for trick-or-treaters. We may have some showers and storms to deal with over there. And then as we go into Friday, November 1st, another marginal risk, level 1 out of 5 in southeast New Mexico, West Texas. This does include parts of the Texas Panhandle like Amarillo as we go into Friday as well. Both of these days are going to be dominated by mainly damaging wind and hail, but a tornado or two cannot be ruled out either day. But you can see heavier rain setting up from the Great Lakes all the way down toward the lower Mississippi Delta region. So if you are trick-or-treating, make sure to have that rain gear handy as we go into Thursday night from the Ohio Valley down into the deep south. As we go into Friday, that cold front kind of washes out, at least the moisture of it kind of hangs down here near the Gulf Coast, but washes out for the eastern seaboard. And we're just seeing some lighter showers. We'll turn our attention to some isolated severe storms for New Mexico, West Texas on Friday. Pretty heavy snow setup for the Cascades here in Washington State and Oregon on Friday as well. And that is a brand new trough that's coming in for the weekend. So we're going to have another trough coming in. We're going to be warming up those temperatures out ahead of it here. Probably not to record territory, but certainly above normal for the early part of November. And some of these areas, again, in the northern, the central plains could be 25, nearly 30 degrees above the norm. And you can see Saturday afternoon, temperatures 50s and 60s up to the north, 70s and 80s further south. That'll continue as we go into Sunday afternoon as well on the 3rd of November. And we're watching that new low pressure system come in. We got the big trough. It's going to bring that cooler air down into the Four Corners region, and then the warmer air setting up out ahead of that. While it's not record territory warmth this time around, it's plenty warm for some severe weather to spark again from Kansas down into Oklahoma, Texas on Saturday, and then spreading a little bit further off to the east as we go into Sunday with some heavier rainfall as well back into the Midwest. And looking at the severe weather, this is still several days out. This is on Saturday, November 2nd. Level 2 out of 5. This is a slight risk of severe weather. Again, similar areas to severe weather on Friday. We have the area in eastern New Mexico and into the western Texas Panhandle. Be watching out from Amarillo down there toward Lubbock and Midland. And then as we go into Sunday, this stretches from southeastern Nebraska through east central Kansas, west central Oklahoma, northwest Texas, so roughly around the Topeka region, Wichita, down here into Oklahoma City, into El Reno, all the way down into Wichita Falls as we go into Sunday. And it's going to be spelling out more heavy rain. And it's good news that we're seeing this. We just don't want to see it all at once. And again, we have drought in these areas, so it's nice to see the rainfall here. Liquid gold is what I call it. And we could be seeing some heavier rains, particularly around the Red River Valley down here, southern Oklahoma, North Texas. Yeah, we could be talking up to 5 inches worth of rainfall between Thursday, tomorrow, and going through Sunday the 3rd, and then the heavy rainfall over here as well into Seattle and Portland, Oregon, too, with several inches of rain there. Snowfall, it's going to bring colder air into the picture with our second trough, so more snow impacting parts of the Cascades. We could see feet of snow, over 40 inches there, some several inches of snow from Idaho down into Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, even some snow outside of the Phoenix area, into Flagstaff, into northwestern New Mexico and the mountain regions there as we go through this upcoming weekend. We'll be keeping an eye on it for you. Tropics, 40% chance of development in the Caribbean over the next several days. And right now there's a lot of convection going on around the Caribbean. Not really anything too terribly organized at this moment, but looking at the ensemble guidance, this is the European ensemble guidance. This weekend, pretty weak signal, but I think as we go into early next week, maybe a tropical depression starts to form. When it does form, if it does form, it'll move further to the west-northwest toward Cuba or even into the southern Gulf of Mexico later next week, and it could become a problem for Florida perhaps as we go into the following weekend. We'll keep an eye on that. Turning over the GFS, the American ensemble guidance, kind of in the similar scenario here. This weekend, pretty weak signal. We start to see a stronger signal of maybe a tropical depression, tropical storm early next week in the Western Caribbean. And again, it all has to do with, is it over the warm waters? Is it having land interaction with Cuba? Does it even form at all? That's a lot of the questions that we have. But if it does, this may take a run into the Gulf of Mexico and unfortunately back toward Florida either later next week or the following weekend. And we'll keep you updated right here on this channel. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips. Turn on the post notification bell so you are notified when I do put out my videos each and every day. Press the like button down below. It's the thumbs up button, especially if you did enjoy today's weather forecast. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those after the video, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday out there.